country today.
But do you think that will happen on November 3rd?
The country than I saw 4 years ago, and I think it's going to.
This is one of my old ones that I just made, so I'm going to show you guys around one of my old ones, and then I'm going to create a new one.
Voter fraud is undeniable. We've seen case after case around the country where there have been prosecutions. The president spoke about New Jersey. We've seen it in other states. In my own state of Indiana in 2012, there was a Democrat super PAC that was involved in our elections, and literally there was a group of people that were prosecuted for falsifying.
So for this, I have to go 1, 2, 3,
and I got to tell you, when you think about the price we have paid for this democracy through the generations, my father wore the uniform.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
We have to stand for the principle of one person, one vote.
I can't remember all of it,
whatever. Is at the heart of what our democracy is all about.
It sounds like the possibility is open that it could go on longer if indeed that integrity.
I have Buff.
So we'll stay tuned to see where that goes. I was listening to the former Vice President Joe Biden today and thinking about his Build Back Better plan. One of the things that he mentioned was that
in your bathroom you sit on this, and then you wash your hands over here.
In terms of racial
and then you do this, you might get something. Here's the chimney, the fireplace, and that's about it. And then outside you have the fireplace. Okay, now I'm going to
benefits or resources in this country based on
go and just do some stuff. Do some stuff. Do some stuff. Do some stuff, and I'll go and ain't even gonna. If you guys want me to do launch news Minecraft,
this is a president who cut taxes, rolled back regulation, fought for free and fair trade, and supported educational opportunities for everyone. We saw the lowest unemployment rate ever recorded for African Americans. We saw historic investments in black colleges and universities around America. And with Senator Tim Scott, we saw the creation of more than 8,000 opportunity zones in cities that are attracting investment. You know, Joe Biden and the Democrats.
Wait, can I put a mouse on this? Wait, hold up. Can I do something with my keyboard and mouse finally on this game? On my game. I have a Minecraft Steven thing. So should I play Minecraft on PC? So should I? Because I never do, but should.
Joe Biden is denying the ability for African American families and minority families to choose where their children go to school. He actually wants to defund the school choice program right here in Washington, D.C.
We asked his representative about that last night. I think that's going to be
about building back the economy better. Remember,
I think in the new one, that's how you can do it, but whatever.
Rollback regulation. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, their unity agenda of the radical left, they actually want to raise taxes by $4 trillion. They have a $2 trillion Green New Deal program that looks like Cylinder on steroids. I mean, look, we're not going to build America back better with more government, higher taxes, more regulation, more liberal policies. We're going to build America back better, stronger, and more prosperous by doing again what President Trump and I did in our first 3 years, and that is less government, less taxes, free and fair trade, educational opportunities for all. That's the way that we can grow this economy and fully recover and then some from this
few more minutes, and I would be remiss if I don't ask you some questions about your COVID-19 meetings today, but I do want to be, since you went there, I would like to ask you about school choice, because I was very interested in this particular soundbite from the president on this issue of going back to school. Let's play that.
If schools do not reopen, the funding should go to parents to send their child to public, private, charter, religious, or homeschool of their choice.
Now I think that's a lot of people's attention, Vice President. And today you have the American Federations of Teachers saying that they will back teachers who want to go on strike in this country. as you are under efforts to try to reopen the schools and get kids back in the classroom this fall. So what does that look like? If I'm a parent in America and my school says they're closed and President Trump says that I can, somehow use that money for school choice, that's not on the books right now. What if I really want to make that happen? How can I do that?
Well, it's one of the reasons why we're demanding that a significant portion of any additional relief funding for education in our states actually go to support school choice programs around the country. But look, Martha,
cool, so I can make some torches.
Teacher. She's getting ready to be back in the classroom
Gravel,
this
don't
fall.
like it.
We got to get our kids back to school. Now, there's going to be some states, and we follow the data on the White House Coronavirus Task Force, county by county, city by city. There's going to be some areas that will want to move in a more measured way. We'll respect governors and states as they make those decisions. But look, CDC put out guidance last week that recommended that we get our kids for their academic well-being and their health and well-being back into the classroom. We know the risk of the coronavirus to healthy children is very low. We know that there are real costs that disrupting, education for special needs kids, disrupting nutrition. I mean, the reality is our kids are going to be better off in school, and by working with the states, implementing CDC guidance.
But can they, as the president said, can parents send their children to a public, private, charter, religious, or homeschool, or other choice under the current law? Do they have that option?
Martha, the president said they ought to be able to do that. There's been no greater champion of school choice in the history of this country than President Donald Trump. We're going to continue to advocate that principle, but right now it's absolutely essential, and we're working with every governor to get our kids back in school. It's best for our kids academically and personally. It's best for working families. And as we open up America, we got to open up America's school. And make no mistake about it, Martha, as CDC said again last week, as American pediatricians said a couple weeks ago, we can safely reopen our schools. And at the president's direction, we're going to work our hearts out
to get our kids back in the classroom. Organizations, a lot of pushback on that, and I know that there's a lot of private schools and religious schools that would love to have the opportunity to offer those spots to kids. So that's something we're going to watch closely. Okay, vaccines. Some of the sort of reality check on vaccines is that, once they're out there, it's not going to be an instant, everything is better now, everybody gets the vaccine. There's, some doctors saying they may work for some people, they might not be a complete umbrella for others. What can you tell us right now about how different it will be at the end of this year or the beginning of next year?
Gotta plant this,
just yesterday, I was in Florida, the president was in North Carolina. We literally saw in record time the start of phase 3 clinical trials for the first coronavirus vaccine.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
Now, Martha, you understand this, but people need to understand a vaccine usually takes years to develop. But what President Trump did early on was say we need to clear away any red tape barriers. He called on our pharmaceutical industry to step up and to accelerate the process without cutting any corners on safety. And now we've got a half a dozen different vaccine platforms that are in development. And I got to tell you, when you got Dr. Fauci saying that it's not if, it's when we have a vaccine. It
I'm literally finding the most cool you can ever find.
We really have great confidence that by this fall, we're going to have a vaccine. And the really exciting thing is under Operation Warp Speed, we're literally producing those vaccines right now. We're purchasing millions of syringes right now so that the moment that the FDA says that a vaccine is safe and effective, we will have the supplies on hand to literally offer vaccines to tens of millions of Americans.
Yes, that is not the way it usually happens.
The day that it gets approved.
All right, before I let you go, testing. I had a close friend who needed to get a test.
Am I really? Can I find iron?
7 to 10 days. Until they would get the results
I just really want iron.
By that time, anybody that if you've got it, anybody
you
can
lucky,
contact with,
like everyone has.
Contact trace, that person.
Not lying, like most of my friends get like a bunch of iron, like
when are we going to see a situation where you can either do a home test or you can get a test result back in 24 to 48 hours at the latest?
Well, first off, I think the American people should take great pride in the fact that
Gosh
4
darn
months
it.
ago, we were at a standing start. We've done about 8,000 coronavirus tests. As of
And I'm
today,
gonna have
we've
to
done
go.
55 million
Yeah.
coronavirus tests because of the public-private partnership that President Trump initiated early on. We're actually doing 800,000 coronavirus tests a day.
I love taking fall damage.
That being said, particularly in some hotspot areas, we're dealing with some delays. The average amount of time we're told from the commercial labs, which do half of the testing, is about 4.5 days. It's one of the reasons why the FDA this last weekend approved what's called pooling, Martha. This will allow these commercial labs not just to test one swab at a time, but to test 5 and 10 samples
and that
at
hopefully
a time.
will speed it up.
And it'll speed it up. But also remember, the other half of testing is done very quickly, because half of testing in this country is already being done with point-of-care tests that turn it around in 15 minutes, or at hospitals and in hospital labs. You know, when people are in hospitals, we want to get that test done immediately. We're working with research hospitals around the country to make sure.
You know, that's great if you can get it. I went all through. I Googled every single place in the entire state of New Jersey, and you can't get a rapid test. You know, unless you're in a
one last thing
hospital.
on that, Martha, if I may, we're also distributing 15,400 Abbott point-of-care 15-minute tests to every single nursing home in America.
Well, that's important. That's very important.
Last week, 600 this week, and in the next four weeks or so, every nursing home in America will have a 15-minute test to be able to test residents and faculty, and we hope very soon, when it's approved, visitors visiting loved ones.
I'm going to jump out there. I'm going to get cut off. Vice President Mike Pence, thank you very much, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good to be with you, Mark.
So coming up next, we will talk to Congressman Eric Swalwell, who is one of the Democrats who is there questioning Bill Barr today. Then Guy Benson will follow up after that when we come back.
New One-A-Day Natural Fruit Bites multivitamins are made with farm-grown apples as the first ingredient and key nutrients you want. So you can have a daily multivitamin free of stuff you don't want. One-A-Day Natural Fruit Bites, a new way to multivitamin.
I like Liberty Mutual. They get that no two people are alike. And customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. What do you think?
Oh, Sam, only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
From roof to foundation, the damage to your home can be devastating from clogged gutters, leaking
How is he
rooms,
dying?
rotting
What?
wood and fascia,
He
and
wasn't
flooding
dying for me,
basements.
but he was dying for
Protect your entire home with Leak Filter, the nation's #1 rated gutter protection system. Once
I'm
our
gonna
wires
make
go
a
up,
door.
you can push yours down forever.
and then this
One of the
will
things that I like
be
to propose is I don't have to get back on the ladder.
here.
Leak Filter starts by
And
cleaning,
then I
sealing, and realigning your gutters. We then install our micro mesh screen over your existing gutters, which is guaranteed to filter out everything except for water.
Trying other products is what made us finally go to Leaf Filter.
And Leak Filter's lifetime transferable warranty makes it an
Like for
extraordinary
parking.
value.